Hello everyone, Ryx here. Today I wanted to talk about the new May update information that released in the NGS headline recently, so that way I can just share all of it with y'all if you haven't seen it yet or know about it. But first, if you like the video and want to keep track of whenever I release these on a good schedule, feel free to sub below so that way you can get notified whenever I release anything. But now, let's get into this so we can start talking about all this lovely stuff that we're going to be getting here throughout the month of May leading up to the Kvaris expedition. Alright, starting off first, we have this kind of new/old AC scratch that we're going to be getting here, which is essentially going to be the AC Support Item Select 2. Now, this event is going to run, obviously, until May 10th, that you can see right here. And honestly, this event's a little pay to win, honestly, considering who you ask. And the reason for that is because this entire event is filled with nothing but augment capsules. You got some limit break substitutes, some end potentials right here, and more limit breaks and some experience armor and weapons. But the big thing that a lot of people are going to be looking at are all these augments right here. Now, this is the scratch ticket that a lot of players specifically spent money on to get a lot of augments to either sell or to hang on for their 5 or 6 star weapons that are going to be coming up here pretty soon. Now, personally, I don't recommend spending any AC on this, but if you're a hardcore, like, gotta hit the maximum and the min-max stats for your character and weapon and armor, this is the AC scratch that I would recommend pulling on. Now, the reason behind that is because all these augments, you only need one of them to count for 100%. So as long as you have one of any of these augments right here, it will be 100% able to be applied to anything. So instead of needing the 10, you only need the 1, and it's its own category, so it can be applied to anything along with 4 other augments on a plus 50 weapon or armor. Now, if you're not a pay to win or someone who uses AC on a regular basis, do not worry. These will be sold on the player market. I can almost guarantee that, because I know a lot of players are probably going to be selling the ones they don't need, as in, like, if you're a melee character, you don't need range and tech, obviously, and then vice versa for all the different kinds of weapons. Now, if you do happen to get these, my recommendation at this point, seeing as how Kvaris is about a month and a half away, is to hang on to any of the augments you get from this, or if you buy them off the player market, until you get your 6 star weapons, because that is going to be the best execution for your buck, essentially. Most bang for your buck. So make sure you hang on to that. Now, obviously, this AC scratch, like all the other ones, has the guaranteed rewards that you can get for spending them, but honestly, no one really cares about that, because the main thing you're going for is just the hope to get capsules that you can use or spend or sell in the player market for somebody else, that we can get money to spend on other things. Now, let's move on to the other AC scratch tickets that we have going on as well throughout the course of May. Alright, so for this one, we have 2 AC scratches. They're basically the same thing, but slightly different. So first off, we have an AC scratch ticket for the Type 1 voice memories, and then we have an AC scratch ticket for the Type 2 voice. So you got your male and your female voices. Now, for these, I personally don't really care too much about how my character sounds. I may look up a good Type 1 voice, but honestly, for me, it's nothing too special. Now, for those who actually want to hear your character in game, I can guarantee you that I've heard people who actually have the Type 1 or Type 2 voice while I'm in the middle of a PSE burst zone, and I can hear them narrating their actions. So if you want your character to feel more alive during combat and such, I would recommend it. Now, both of these will run from, as you can see here, it'll be April 30th to May 10th, so the ticket's not quite out yet if you're watching this video whenever it releases, but stay tuned. Also, there are quite a bit of choices you have here. I think most of these mostly will be from base PSO2. You have a good selection of men's voices here, as well as the cast voices. And then at the bottom, there's actually a very interesting play bonus here that if you get a certain amount of AC scratches, you can actually get certain people's voices from the old game. Now, the same thing happens here, except that it's going to be the female voices. You can see here we have the women's voices, and then at the bottom we have the women's cast voices, and then at the bottom of that we have specific women cast voices that you would be able to get, that you would have been able to got in the game at a previous time. So if you're looking to spice up your characters' voices for the coming future, remember, it drops on April 30th and it lasts until May 10th. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, let's get into some of the more interesting information, which is the 6-star weapons that we're actually going to be getting here in about a month and a half's time. So they finally gave us a heads up on what our Kvaris Expedition prep tickets are going to be. So as you can see here, you'll be able to get up to 20 Kvaris Expedition prep tickets. I guess that's the max you'll be able to get. So make sure that you're doing all your limited quests as soon as you can, and that there's even going to be more limited quests starting here on May 10th. So make sure you keep your eye out and do as many as you can, because these Kvaris tickets are actually very useful. And here's why. As you can see here, the limited quests are going to last until the 7th. We already know this. If you were to log in to the game right now, you'll see you have a bunch of limited quests that actually expire on the 7th. And the prep tickets will only last until July 5th. This will be after we go to Kvaris, so limited time to use them. Now, what you'll be doing with those tickets, as they've come to realize that there was actually going to be 2 NPCs. We have one in Alio, that's going to be the NPC trader Travis, and then we have one in Raten, the NPC trader Sayeta. I don't know how to say that name right, definitely butchered it. And here's the most exciting part. So, as you can see here, obviously the first one is going to be the Evoclips Almaty, which is going to be your 6-star weapon camo. That is going to be 2 tickets. Now, for every single one of the weapons, as you can see here, all the 6-star weapons are going to be 6 tickets, while the weapon itself, with the preset of the Fixa attack level 1, is going to be 7 tickets. Now, scroll down to the bottom here, you can see a little preview of the weapons. I believe this is the sword, you have the spear, you have the wire lance, and here you have what I assume to be the katana. And there's one for every type, and there's a Fixa attack for every type. So at minimum, personally, I'm going to try to aim for 9 Kvaris Expedition tickets as my minimum, because I want both the weapon with the Fixa attack level 1, as well as the Amality, which is the weapon camo, because everyone loves weapon camos. You want to make sure that you add them to your collection. Now, you will see here at the bottom, if you happen to get some extra ones, you can pick up some special scratch tickets with 1 per. Now you can use it up to 5 times, so that's 25 special tickets for 5 of the expedition ones. You can pick up some arms refiners, which are much needed. And then there's this new material that is pentalite, and you can get 20 of it, and you can get it up to 5 times. Now you're probably going to end up needing this material for your 6-star weapon, so being able to pick them up here might be a good way to get a head start on getting your weapon to plus 50 and potential 4, but it might also not be needed because it is going to be mineable in the Kvaris region. We don't entirely know how common it's going to be, so your best bet right now is to just pick up your weapon, get the weapon camo, and hold off on the rest of this until we know for a fact, unless this is another photon scale issue where they're just a really rare drop. Now, the arms refine, however, is going to be something that's going to be very, very wanted, because 20 arms refines for 5 expedition tickets is a pretty good deal, personally, and I'm probably going to be at least picking that up. But very much excitement, as you can see down here in the bottom. Their base attack is going to be 346, and at plus 50, they're going to have 471, which is pretty high compared to the 5-star weapons we currently have. And then their potential is that they give, at max, this is the effects of a level 4 potential, as you can see here, is going to be potency plus 22%, and natural PP recovery speed plus 100% for 20 seconds on a successful sidestep with a 10-second cooldown. So this sort of mirrors how the Resurger weapons had with their crit rate increase. So every time you manage to successfully sidestep, you'll get a boost to your natural recovery for 20 seconds. Now, this also means that as long as you can keep a mental note every time it activates, you can keep this on a pretty fair cycle. You just have to be aware of how that works, similar to how relic weapons have a certain cooldown with the explosive series. Now, with this covered, we now know that we're going to be getting Kvaris weapons, or Kvaris hopefully out on the 7th update into the 8th, and 6-star weapons to start our adventure off. Now, let's talk about the huge amount of things going on for May. We have lots of May updates going on, so let's move on to that. Alrighty, and here we are at the big May 2022 update info. Now, as you can see right here, there is plenty that we're going to have to go over right here. And since this is my first time doing one of these, I hope you'll be a little patient with me as I go through everything. Hopefully, I'll be able to explain it very well. If not, again, feel free to let me know in the comment section. I love interacting with anyone who leaves me a comment and just learning more, being able to inform others. But let's get this started right now. First things first, we have the anniversary update. It's actually coming out. Big changes to some graphics. You see here, very, very nice, very colorful. I like these changes personally. They look very flashy. I love the little look of the mag with the crown and just the whole royal-esque like appearance to it. And I love the Rappy's little outfits. They look pretty dang adorable. Now, the next thing we have here is going to be a new limited time little anniversary vegetable. And then we have a little anniversary mineral, which I don't know if this is an accurate representation, but it looks like it's dropping quite a bit of items. Now, I don't know what it'll be for. I wonder what it will be for. Hopefully, they'll be able to give us more information on that as we get closer. Maybe we'll have to experience it ourselves. And then here we have mischief symbols in the field. These are going to be giant. I hope that they keep the size. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see it. Now, also, you'll see here that there's this new enemy type that's going to be added to Trials. Now, from what I've understood, this enemy type will actually be dropping Mastery Capsules. So this will be a good way to farm for Mastery Capsules outside of the yellow triggers in Retim. Now, the best part is from what I understood, they drop Mastery 1, 2, and Mastery 3 capsules. So this, anytime you'll see this when the event's going on, definitely worth farming. Now, moving right along, you'll see that Zatir is also back with more tasks and a new exchange shop that's bringing quite a lot of items, especially these plus 50 armor right here. You can see that you can get at least one of each one of them, and they come fully augmented. As you can see here, it'll be the Might 3, we got Spirit 3, Didal Soul 3, Dreadkeeper 3, and Dark Exploit 1. Now, while these aren't necessarily the best augments, at least there'll be some augments. So for players who don't already have a plus 50 armor that's all geared up and ready to go for Kvaris, this will be a quick pick-me-up in the right direction. So I do recommend that if you're not all the way at the end game of Retim, that you'll want to pick up these guaranteed to give you a bit of a boost towards the right direction. Now, also, as you can see right here, we also have a lot of sticker exchanges. Right here, we have a sticker of the new enemy. We have a cool, neat little accessory. And then here, we actually have stickers that have been crafted by the community and that have won competitions. I love this little No More Restagen. We have the little Rappy Weak Spot. Plenty of ones here as well. Make sure that you don't miss out on this. You'll definitely miss getting to collect these, and who knows if they'll be coming back or not. Now, on top of that event, we also have the inclusion of the limited time quest that will no longer require battle triggers, and that's going to be the Dazzling Chaos Suppression. Now, as far as this seems, you'll be able to run it as much as you want, and it'll be a great place to farm, but what you need to pay attention to is, as you can see right here, it says that your recommended stats should be of 1957 battle power. So as you can see, this will be a very late game grind to it that I would recommend making sure to prep for it now, as this is still about 2 weeks away. So you still have 2 weeks time to gear yourself up to the point where running this will seem more of a farm other than a chore. And that's the big issue here. And just look at the great environments they have going here. I love the little anniversary mark to tell you that the enemies are anniversary. Also, during this, you'll also see the combination of Retim and Alio forces. So I really hope that we'll get to see next Alio into like a Dustal Varus or the Renim Retam. Just dual region bosses would be so nice. I hope that this event really brings up with the inclusion of just multiple bosses. And now another cool thing is that this will finally be an event that has dark elemented enemies. So essentially all enemies will be weak against the dark element, which is something that honestly I've been looking forward to myself, because it's as far as I've known, we really haven't had anything that's weak against dark other than the urgent bosses. So this will just be nice to use the dark element to really clean out PSE burst areas. Now, these weapons and their effects do look pretty nice. I do love the purple look of these weapons. They look very dark and mysterious. And I love the secondary change where it's red, red being my personal favorite color, just makes it look so much more kind of demonic in its look. So I'm very excited for it. Plus, you'll be able to pick up Dark Exploit and slap it on there and be able to do more damage during this event cycle, and also to urgent quest bosses in the future if you happen to keep using it. And then finally, you'll be able to pick up your weapon camo of the series, so make sure you farm up 300,000 points just like you do in every event, so that way you can pick it up, and then you can keep the weapon camo going forward even though you get rid of the weapons. Definitely worth it. Now, as soon as this May update cycle also begins, we'll also be getting a new AC scratch, as the other AC scratches that we mentioned previously will be ending on May 10th. On May 11th, we'll be getting the AC scratch ticket Playful Grappler, which has some very cool martial artist looking outfits, especially this panda, which honestly is just stealing the show of this entire scratch right now. I can't wait to see a lot of people wearing this, honestly, because the player base is crazy with outfits, and I love every bit of it. This one, too, may also catch the female eye, as the outfit is very gorgeous to look at. Now, down here, we have a new dance. We have boxing, footwork, idol, and then, honestly, we have riding a Nimbus glide. The cloud riding is super cool, reminds me very much of just riding Nimbus and other things. Now, down here, you'll see that we're also going to be getting a new SG Scratch here a week after the AC Scratch. It's going to be starting off with Refined Form 3. Now, honestly, I love that these outfits are coming back into the game. They look so good, and they're also quite edgy, honestly, so I bet a lot of the player base is going to end up liking them. The cast is definitely looking good. Not a lot of cast armor actually. The cast haven't been given a lot of love with their outfits in New Genesis, so it's always good to see some new cast outfits in New Genesis. We have some lovely outfits right here. And then this neat little motion glide as the chopper backpack is also just a nice little touch. And then finally, we have the Mission Pass Season 8. We'll be able to get some more accessories here, and maybe even get a little Rappy anniversary mag, so we can keep him with us as we go through our adventures. Alright, and then on to the second week after the update, we have starting on May 25th, the second part of the anniversary event, where our lovely NPC here will be giving us more tasks. We'll have new limited time tasks to meet up with the seasonal point. We have new accessories, a very interesting glide, honestly, that I can't wait to see what it's like. It just looks like you're not carrying it all. Very interesting. Also, we finally, I don't know about y'all, but seeing this in my limited time quest is something that I haven't been able to complete yet, has been very annoying to me, but we'll finally be able to get the urgent quest Mining Rig Defense for Retim, which apparently is a lot harder than the Alio one, which is exciting for me because I love when they introduce new difficult content that focuses players to really buckle down and get their strategy worked out with each other. Honestly, it looks like a crazy amount of stuff is going on just in these few cutscene little pictures right here, so I cannot wait to try them out myself. I bet I'm definitely going to have a hard time at first trying to just figure out the strategy. It was the same way with Alio for me, just difficult to figure out. And then, as you can see right here, we have a new scratch ticket actually coming out towards the end of May. This will probably either replace the martial arts one in the beginning, or it'll run alongside it for a little bit. But this one is called the Original Creations A1, which is the item design contest winning entries. So a lot of these actually look pretty good. I like the look that this is on the Type 1. Well, this outfit for me is definitely really cool on the Type 2. I like their looks together. We have a sneaky emote right here. We have a cutesy jump. And then we have a new dash that's lightweight. A lot of interesting things happening here. And then finally, on the 1st of June, leading up to the final week of the update before the Kvaris update, we have the Stellar Grace Recovery Operation, which is the World Trial. Now, for this, we have some new little flares into them to make them look a lot prettier, a lot more amazing. Make sure that you are getting these whenever they're out, so that way you can make use of the nice rare drop rate boost leading right into the new update, so that way you don't miss out on it. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for this in the first week of June, so that way you're prepared. All right, and that's going to be it for my coverage of the event cycle update. Thanks for tuning in and sticking around with me while I do my first little update coverage. I'll be sure to do more of these in the future every time there's something additional added to the game that I can cover, so that way I can provide information for anyone who stops by. And like always, if you have any additional questions or you want to tell me and inform me of anything that maybe I may have missed looking at it, feel free down in the comments. Just hit me up, let me know. I always pay attention to my comments. Even if it's weeks down the line, you can still message down. I'll do my best to respond to you. Now, if you want to look through these yourself to see if you can find anything else, or if you just want to really read up on it, I will be posting the links down that I have covered in the description below, so that way you can go through and look at them yourself. But again, thanks for stopping by. Hope everyone has a great day, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.